Welcome to the Inside Silverstone podcast, a business-focused podcast covering all things tech, engineering and innovation. Hosted by me, Chris Broome, a huge tech, motorsport and gaming fan, and also the owner of Longhurst, a firm of lifestyle financial planners and independent financial advisors located in Silverstone, Northamptonshire. This is a series of unscripted and unpolished conversations with leading business owners, thought leaders and high-tech talent where we discuss their experiences within the Silverstone business and motorsport region. We will also be asking them to share their knowledge, insight and their thoughts on the future just for you. If you're looking to learn more about the Silverstone high growth region and commercially connect with like-minded peers, you've definitely come to the right place. Welcome to Inside Silverstone. Welcome to the next edition of Inside Silverstone. My name is Chris Broome and I am your host. Today I am delighted to welcome to the show a new friend, a new Silverstone Technology Cluster member, Jahee Campbell-Brennan from Wavey Dynamics. Jahee, welcome to the podcast.
Hi man, good to be here.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming on. Right. There's lots we want to talk about. This is COVID catch-up. So this is providing either old friends of the show or new friends like yourself, 10, 15 minutes for us to gas bag about everything that you do, why your business is cool, why people should be engaging with you. And then we'll have a little natter about COVID, because we should, and other interesting topics. But the first thing I want to ask you about, the first thing I want to talk to you about is on your YouTube channel, which is in the show notes for everybody listening. There's a link in the show notes. Jahee's got a fantastic YouTube channel. You refer to yourself as the gymnastic engineer. And then there's videos of you doing backflips, somersault, handstands, a Brazilian, is it capoeira?
Capoeira, yeah.
Capoeira. Talk to us. We haven't had any other engineers on who do gymnastics and backflips. And so talk to us about that. What's the narrative behind that sort of journey?
Yeah, so I guess about 5 years ago, I kind of came to a point where I had all these things that, like, as a young guy, I wanted to do, like backflips and handstands and kind of just some spectacular like body movements. And then at the same time I kind of put it together that we spend all this time trying to expand mentally and learn new things and new mental skills, but we kind of neglect physically.
Yes.
So before I knew it, I was at a gymnastics club, learned to backflip. I found a nice group to train with, and that's been me since.
And how old are you when you started this?
I'm 32 now, so I would have been about 27, something like that.
Wow. Rock and roll, well done. I mean, I'm about to turn 40 and I'm thinking to myself, could I do, I mean, I used to go to do handstands and stuff at school, but and cartwheels, but I'm not sure. Do you know what? I might try it and I might add a clip in here. We could do a comparison, you versus me.
I can give you some free coaching.
Man, you look like you're in good shape, so I think you kicked my ass there. But either way, for everyone listening to this, is a fantastic YouTube channel. Where Jahee basically introduces you to different sort of engineering concepts and sort of ask the expert type episodes. And so when did you launch that, and how's that all going?
That was I think that was last year, like last early summer maybe. So okay. July last year.
Yeah.
And it's okay. It's just what I realize is it takes so long to film and edit content.
Yes.
Like it can easily take nearly a week, like full time, for one like 15-minute video. So I like doing it, but I have to pace myself, otherwise it can dominate a bit too much time.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. We obviously produce content here at Inside Silverstone and also Longhurst, and I do some of it, and I now have to outsource some of it. I've got a guy locally actually who's very cost effective, so I'll introduce you to him. This is a side thing, so that, if ever you want to palm some of that off on somebody, they can do that. But anyway,
at some point I will, I'm sure.
Wavey Dynamics. Let's talk about your business. So, sort of in a nutshell, what do you do?
So I'm an automotive and motorsport engineering consultant.
Okay.
And I am building a business where I can kind of establish myself within the industry and be known just for kind of providing a trustworthy and efficient service. So I have there's two areas that I'm personally quite passionate about. So that's where I'm spending most of my focus,
Okay.
and that's vehicle dynamics and aerodynamics.
Okay.
Um, and I like to work in the development side of things, so I like the more office based. But I'm also at the moment trying to work and move into like track-based engineering, like race engineering, data, performance, that kind of thing. And also engineering design. Um, I guess that's where I spent most of my early career. So yeah, I like the kind of CAD and the CFD, FEA, all that kind of thing. Um, Biomimicry is quite a prominent theme in my work. I think we can always take a lot of inspiration from nature. Some of the best engineering solutions I've seen are in nature. So who are we to think we can do better?
So talk to us before we get into some of the specialisms and niches that you're passionate about and clearly very good at. Talk to us about the
Mm,
background. So your career has, over the last decade plus has seen you
mm.
do what? What have you sort of experienced and done?
So I graduated about 7 years ago with a master's in automotive engineering.
Cool.
Um, I spent the first 5 years or so working in automotive, like OEM.
Okay.
So I did a lot of like product development, vehicle development kind of work there. Then I just, yeah, I kind of reached a point where I felt like I wasn't being challenged, and I had a lot of ideas for projects that I wanted to develop myself. Um, and yeah, just ways of working that I felt that yeah was best achieved working for myself. So yeah, 18 months, 2 years ago, I kind of split off to do that and started Wavey Dynamics.
And here you are.
And here I
So
am.
let's talk about some of these niches and specialisms. So
Biomimicry.
biomimicry. So I've never heard of that before. So
Okay.
so that I'm going to be googling that and looking that up. Talk
Mm.
to us, educate me. So biomimicry is what, and what are some examples of that, perhaps that somebody like me would understand?
So it's basically it's looking to nature, nature's solutions for human problems. So, for example, looking at kind of bird wings might be a kind of just a very simple example. So,
Yeah.
looking at birds' wings for aerodynamic solutions, there's a quite a neat one that I like that the designer of the McLaren 12C used. So they were having quite an issue with noise on the wing mirrors, and they looked at high-speed fish, and there was kind of a similar concept at the tail fin, where the flow of water joins the tail fin, and there was kind of some raised bumps that would just help to kind of train the water and keep it flowing in the best way. And they used those yeah, the kind of like bumps or pips, so they put those on the arm of the wing mirror, and the issue went away. So that's quite a nice issue of biomimicry in
How do
aerodynamics.
they literally treat me naively? How do
Mm.
they sort of video record or understand that aerodynamical the flow on a fast moving fish? Like, as in, like, how is that recorded? Are they literally on a high speed boat going alongside it? Is it in a tank,
Um,
or how does that work?
well, I guess it's first you got to trust in nature that the solutions there are kind of the most efficient solutions.
Sure.
So then I guess you would just look for similar flow, um, like where you have like two flow from two bodies that's kind of coming together.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe they did some CFD on it. Yeah, or maybe they just kind of thought, oh, let's give that a try. That must be there for some reason.
Yeah. Wow.
Mm,
Okay. Okay, so other niches and specialisms for you. So let's say I run
mm,
a motorsport business or an automotive
mhm,
business.
mm.
What are, you said there's two or three things that you're really passionate about. What are they, and what are some examples of how you can help a business that's it's sort of in that space?
Yeah, so I guess I had a client some time ago where they wanted to design an aerodynamic splitter. So we connected, and they kind of had a rough idea of what they wanted it to, how they wanted it to function, the features they wanted it to have. And then I drew it up in CAD, did some CFD on it, and pass the design for them to give to their supplier. So that was a nice bit of work I did.
Hmm.
And also just the kind of thing where maybe there's a finished like vehicle, they have like a finished race car, and they just want to help with setup to optimize the vehicle dynamics, maybe kind of optimize the tire wear, that kind of thing. So they would come to me, I would work with them, whether it's some simulation work they needed or just direct kind of data analysis and manipulating the car from that. Yeah, that's the kind of thing that I'm doing.
Okay, cool. And obviously, you've got a really good looking website, because I like looking at websites. And so again,
Thank you.
we'll leave a link in the show notes. So if I can go on, there's lots of content on there. There's articles, blogs. There's areas where people can understand and learn more about what you do.
Hmm.
And there's also a really cool section on sort of you supporting next generation. So going out, you call it outreach, which I like. Going into schools, exhibitions, and I also see that you participated in the MIA School of Race Engineering.
Yeah.
So talk to us about that. So what have you been doing? Why is it important to you? How's it all gone?
So yeah, I guess I've always liked kind of passing knowledge down and inspiring people behind me. So it started actually maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and I had a friend who was he worked for like a car leasing company down in Brighton, and they were putting on a motor show. So it was kind of Sussex's first motor show, and they rented out the Amex Stadium, which is where Brighton football team play,
Yeah.
and they kind of put on an exhibition. And I was speaking to him, and I was like, "Oh, what are you doing for the engineering side?" And it ended up that I kind of had a stand or an exhibition where I made some engineering related games for kind of younger kids to come and play and just to understand some basic concepts of engineering.
Nice.
Yeah, and it went down quite well. And then over the next years, I did a couple of I went to some schools to kind of speak to. There was a primary school I did where I took the same kind of set of games and just like what engineers do, like the kind of things we work with, and also at a secondary school around London. And yeah, I find it quite rewarding. Yeah, yeah, I would always like to kind of, as I grow Wavy Dynamics, I would always like to have an element of kind of looking behind me to like, what can I do for the industry? How can I inspire like a wide range of people, like wide range of ethnicities and
Sure.
male, female kind of thing. So yeah,
I think it's fantastic, and the good thing is, so a
mm,
number of you're a member of the Silverstone Technology Cluster,
yep,
as is my firm, Longhurst, and we'll come on to the STC in a minute. But the STC alongside Silverstone Park,
mm,
up in South Northamptonshire, next to the race circuit, they're part of the Inspiration for Innovation project, which is a schools outreach project
mm,
locally, going out to sixth forms, colleges, technology colleges,
okay,
etc. Where a bunch of the STC members go and sort of support it, from engineers like yourself through to professional advisors like me. So
yep, okay,
that's something that you should definitely look into. There'll be more information on the websites about that, but
okay,
a really good way for you to meet other STC members and other Silverstone Park residents.
yeah, I'm always keen for that.
As an aside, you have a fantastic article on your website, which connects to, I think, something that you wrote in the MIA magazine or at a conference.
Race Car Engineering magazine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
race car. Forgive me. Sorry, race car engineering, regarding black representation in motorsport. So,
Yeah.
clearly something you're very passionate about. Talk to us about that. Talk to us about the article. Talk to us about experiences. It's a critically important subject matter that needs to be spoken about more. Sort of, you've got an opportunity here, so let's talk about it.
Yeah. So I guess that was as I kind of started venturing out with Wavy Dynamics and meeting people in the industry and going to like industry events. I just started to realize that there was just no representation, like no one who looked like me, I guess, at any of these places. And it's like I've always recognized the importance of having like role models and representation in certain spaces, and
Mm,
also the importance of diversity and what it can bring to an organization or a mission.
sure.
Um, so yeah, I guess there was one event which I referenced in the article which kind of stands out, and that was at the MIA Business Growth Conference.
Yes.
That was, I believe it was last year, last summer. Um, and yeah, it's kind of just an event where it was very heavily male and very heavily kind of like from a white or European background. And like it's not something that I'm very like it's not so alien to me to be the only black guy in a space,
Mm,
but it kind of just drove home that yeah, something perhaps should be done here if it can be done. And me kind of going on my mission, what what can I do using the platforms I have to maybe start a conversation about it? And yeah, it's not something like I didn't feel uncomfortable or I didn't receive any bad kind of any rudeness or no one was kind of directing anything negative at me.
mm,
But I was just very aware that I was like quite an unknown just from the looks I would get, like people trying to see my name badge to see where I'm from and like who I might be there with. And yeah, it's just kind of I could tell they were as surprised as they were, well, yeah, quite surprised to see me there.
I just find that mad. How many people
Mm.
do you reckon were there?
Uh,
I guess.
between 100 and 200, I guess. So yeah, probably like 150, I'd say.
Well, I think you're right. I think it's down to role models. Lewis Hamilton's obviously doing a phenomenal job,
Mm,
but it also clearly starts at grassroots as well, right? So it's about,
mm.
certainly the next generation and just hoping that we're, in the next 5, 10, 20, 30 years, we are not having these same conversations again. Because
Yeah,
I hear these stories and I mean, unless I'm just being ignorant or naive, I'm just flabbergasted that an event with 200 people in 2019, where
yeah.
you've even got to write about it.
Yeah, and yeah, it's like motorsport isn't something that like when I was at uni, I know people who are kind of more fanatic about motorsport than me, like black guys, like on my course,
Mm,
like talented engineers, and like something just, yeah, it's like something gets lost, and it's yeah, I think it's a shame. Like take a kind of like a cliche example, Lewis Hamilton, like when he started kind of winning championships, there were so many people in the black community that kind of thought, oh, like what's this? Formula One? Like, oh,
mm,
this is a new thing. Like,
mm,
oh, there's someone who looks like us there. Like, let's check this out.
mm.
And like, so even from a commercial point of view, for like advertising, broadcasting, like it's such a big demographic that motorsport isn't capturing.
Yeah,
So like from many fronts, from a productivity point of view, from a commercial point of view, it definitely needs some attention.
good. Well, I'm pleased we're talking about it, and
Mm,
I'm pleased you're doing something about it, and I'm pleased you're going
mm,
into the schools as well. Because as I said, it sort of starts at grassroots as well. If we're going to
yeah.
shift real positive longevity
Mm,
and change.
yeah.
I've touched on the Silverstone Technology Cluster. So that's,
Hmm.
for those listening to this who might not be aware, it's a specialist technology cluster based in and around sort of Silverstone Park, which is part of Silverstone F1 race circuit. But
Hmm.
members can come from literally anywhere in and around the UK and indeed around the world. You don't have to be based at Silverstone to be part of the technology cluster.
Mm.
Why did you join? So you're a new member, you're a new friend of ours. So why did you join the group?
Well, two reasons mainly. So I'm quite a fan of like having worked in corporations and seen their limitations and like drawbacks.
Mm,
I'm really a fan of having small specialized companies working together, collaborating on projects. I think going forward, there's a lot of benefit to that. So being a member of somewhere like the STC allows me to kind of link up with companies that are like very well known and experienced in their
mm.
respective fields. So that was one of the reasons, and also just the networking point of view. Like as I'm growing, I'm trying to kind of get myself into the industry, so it's useful to meet people and yeah,
Well,
just get myself out there.
it's a great group of people and
Mm.
businesses who are all sort of trying to push the same message of similar to what we're doing here: diversity, collaboration, togetherness,
Yeah.
next gen. So I think it's definitely the right thing to have joined. And
Mm.
as I said once, I said this to you off air. Once COVID's out of the way, that the networking events are great. The conference, which is
Yeah.
every November, is phenomenal. It's a really, really good event. And there's plenty of opportunity for you to meet people, especially those
Yeah.
that are in a similar situation, i.e. running small businesses, but just doing really cool, epic work, who then end up collaborating with each other on different projects. So,
Yeah.
welcome to the group.
Yeah. Thank you.
What else? So it's a short, sharp interview is supposed to be. So we'll start pulling it to a close. So a couple of last questions is sort of post-COVID. So let's say it's 2021. Whoever's been allowed vaccinations has got them. And we're sort of moving into whatever this new normal is that people keep threatening us with. What are you personally looking forward to doing the most that perhaps you can't do at the moment?
Getting out there more, and I guess in a work sense, like we're not allowed at tracks at the moment if you're not kind of directly affiliated with a team. So that kind of gets in the way of how I'm working with people. And in a non-work sense, just socializing, man. It's like, yeah, it's all very well like meeting friends at home or outside or something, whatever it may be, but it's nice to just be at events, like going to music concerts. That's something I miss. Seeing live music.
Yeah, great.
So
yeah, we haven't had a live music response actually when I keep asking that question, but you're right. We normally go to one or two decent gigs or outside sort of type festivals, and very, very much miss that.
And meeting new people, like that's something I miss as well. Like hearing new stories, like new experiences. Yeah, I used to travel a lot more, so it's I noticed that.
You will again, and I think for all of us, we'll just appreciate it all a bit more, hopefully, right? So I think we're going to sort of embrace life a bit more, and hopefully the side of humanity and being a bit more empathetic and caring to each other.
It would be a shame not to be. Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Right, last question. And it's the most important question I'm ever going to ask you, ever. And I've spent decades of exams and qualifications and traveling the world and speaking to gurus and all of that nonsense. And I'll do a little drum roll. Right. What is the king, or if we're being, diversified and fair, the queen of crisps?
I'm going to go with hula hoops.
Hula hoops, okay, man after my own heart. What flavour hula hoops though?
Just salted.
Is it? Okay, you're gonna go keep it salted.
Salted.
I like that. I'm a barbecue beef man myself, but I also love the cheese and onions. So good style. Right, Jahee, thank you so much for coming on the show. For everyone listening to this, check this company out. They're young, they're dynamic, they're doing some really cool, interesting stuff. Wavey Dynamics, who are specialist motorsport and automotive engineers. Website links are in the show notes, as are the links to the YouTube channel, where you'll be able to see Jahee do some fantastic backflips and capoeira, which educate us that's like a dance stroke martial art where you don't sort of touch each other, but you're mimicking sort of kicking and punching each other and stuff, right?
Yeah, it's a Brazilian martial art, and it's about rather than contacts, it's just about exposing like a weakness. So showing someone where you could have connected with them, but you kind of stopped just short. And it's a lot more expressive and artistic than most martial arts.
It looked really fun. You were laughing a lot. The lady that you're doing it with, there was sort of banter, and it looked really, really good. So well done. And as I said, that there's links in the show notes so people can see you doing that. And then perhaps at the next physical STC conference, which will be next year now in 2021, we'll get you on stage with Pim, who will hopefully be listening to this, and we'll get Pim doing some lessons to learn how to do it. But we'll make sure that he remains fully clothed. And anyway, I digress. Jahee, thank you so much for coming on the show. As I said, everything's in the show notes. I hope you get some business from this, and I look forward to physically meeting you in due time when we're allowed to do so.
Yeah, me too. Thanks, man. It was nice to chat. Pleasure to be on.
Pleasure. Thanks for coming on. The Inside Silverstone podcast is produced by the team at Longhurst for the benefit of those with a passion for all things tech, engineering and innovation. For more information, please visit longhurst.co.uk/Inside Silverstone, whilst also remembering to give us a 5 out of 5 star rating on iTunes. Please note that neither Chris Broome or Longhurst work for Silverstone Park, Silverstone Circuit or Silverstone Technology Cluster.